conservative analysts are now warning if Democrats lose big in November, we could see an active lame duck session on Capitol Hill. During that time, the defeated Democrats might take advantage of that last opportunity to vote liberal policies into law. Others say such fears are overblown.
Well, that's a risk. I'm not certain how real a risk it's ultimately going to be, because if the Democrats do lose a lot of seats, remember in 2012, there are 24 Democrat senators up and only 12 Republicans.
Well, joining us now, Richard Socarides, former special assistant to President Clinton, and Adam Geller, a Republican pollster. Guys, thanks for being with us. Adam, I'll start with you. Sure. Are these warnings legitimate?
Well, I think the warnings are legitimate. Look, I think Karl Rove is the man, but I disagree with him here. I think that Democrats are going to be very active in lame duck. Senator John Kerry from Massachusetts has already begun the drumbeat about cap and trade during the lame duck session. So I'm a little worried about it.
Richard, what about you? If we have a lame duck Democratic Party, is the party shooting itself in the foot, though? Because we've got elections coming up in 2012, and Barack Obama, of course, wants to win again.
Ainsley, I think, first of all, that the Democrats are not going to lose either houses of Congress coming up in this next election. Wow. So I think that talk of this is a little bit irrelevant. Secondly, I think President Obama has been doing a pretty good job of getting through his legislative priorities last year and this year. I mean, a sweeping health care reform, a financial regulatory reform. There are other things on the agenda before the midterms. And third, but most importantly, I think what you alluded to is the fact that after these midterm elections, he's going to have to run in 2012. He's going to have to run for re-election, and I think that you will see him moderate quite a bit going forward after these midterm elections.
All right, Adam, you're giggling when he's saying that he doesn't think the Democrats are going to lose power. Do you think that that's really a possibility, or that's going to happen? Richard,
I love you, but you know what? The Republicans are going to take the House in November. We're either going to take the Senate or we're going to come pretty darn close. And it's funny because all of the things that you mentioned, the Obama legislation, is part and parcel of why the Republicans are going to win in November and why Obama has no choice but to moderate. And that's really the issue here. And that's going to be the tension that Democrats are going to have.
Well,
You're going to have the blue dog Democrats versus the liberal Democrats. And it's going to be this tension. They're mad at Obama right now because they're going to lose.
I would say to Adam to not quite yet on those popping those champagne corks, because, we cannot. People have to realize that we are not going to come back from the brink of economic disaster overnight. And when these numbers start to improve, I think the president's popularity will start to improve. And I think, in these midterms, you can't beat somebody with nobody. And the Republicans are coming up with no alternative solutions. I mean, they've been the party of no, and they've been the party of apologies to the oil companies, to the lobbyists, to the banking industry. So I think that people will have a real choice coming up in these midterms, and this choice will become even more starker when President Obama is back on the ballot.
Richard, I hate to say this, but if you go back and you listen to Republicans in 2006, they were saying the exact same things you were saying, and look where it got them. The Democrats right now are sounding about like what the Republicans were sounding right before they lost their majority.
And Adam, you were telling me about the polls. The poll numbers are not in Barack Obama's favor right now. They're in the 40s. You said the latest poll out today was, what, 44%?
Yeah. Quinnipiac had Barack Obama's approval rating at 44%, which could spell disaster in November.
I want to say
the number to look at is 50% or more. If Obama's well under 50% as the elections draw near, that's going to point to a lot of House losses.
Let me just say that Adam is an expert at this. But the only two presidents in modern American history who have had worse numbers in July of the second year of their first term are Presidents Bill Clinton and Presidents Ronald Reagan, both of whom went on to serve 2 terms and very successful very successful second terms.
But look at what happened with Bill Clinton's first midterm. That was the wave election, the tsunami of 1994. President Reagan lost Congress and the Senate in his first midterm as well.
I think that's correct. I think that the party out of power always loses seats, but I do not think we will lose control of either one of those houses.
We will have to see, Richard. you know, elections can change at the drop of a hat, so we still have a little bit
We have
longer
a lot
until
of time to go.
That's right.
There's absolutely a lot of time to go. I agree with that.
All right, Richard, Adam, thanks for being with us. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Ainsley. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.